Yes, I am aware this isn't how I'm supposed to use this microphone. Just go with it, okay? Back in January, Olivia Rodrigo released her smash hit single Driver's License, which overnight seemed to smash every streaming record that it could, garnering massive critical success, huge streaming numbers, and plenty of airplay. I, like a lot of pop music fans who no longer rely on the radio, completely missed the initial hype for the song entirely. I was vaguely aware of the existence of a song called Driver's License that was doing well for a while until one day I was cleaning some dishes in the kitchen while my parents happened to have the radio on, and well.
I got my driver's license last week, just like we always talked about. 'Cause you were
Wait,
so
is that it?
excited for me.
Honestly, at first I was kind of surprised. I mean, this is the biggest thing in the world. It debuted at number 1 in several countries and had article after article written about it. I guess I was just expecting something more. I started going through other songs that had had a similar explosive success in my head. Shake It Off, Uptown Funk, Get Lucky, Happy, Call Me Maybe, Bad Guy, Royals.
I've never seen a
Wait, no,
diamond
I get
in
it
the
now. I get it.
flesh.
Before I continue talking about Driver's License, allow me to go back a little further. Lorde is a singer-songwriter from Auckland, New Zealand, who rose to popularity in 2013 with her debut album Pure Heroine and its massively successful lead single Royals. This song was inescapable back in 2013, which was weird because this kind of lo-fi pop sound wasn't all that popular back then. In fact, Lorde would often be sharing airtime with acts like Katy Perry, Miley Cyrus, will.i.am, Pitbull, or Lady Gaga. It was a much louder, more club-centric time in pop music. Heck, the biggest rock songs of that year were Radioactive and My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark. But despite all that, Lorde's sarcastic critique of fake pop stars was everywhere. And for good or ill, its effect has been seen on the pop charts ever since. Now, I hate to say it, but Royals hasn't aged all that well. I mean, the production, despite being great, doesn't really go anywhere, and let's be honest, a teenager from New Zealand spouting hip hop cliches with the sense of disaffected irony is far from the deepest thing to ever hit the radio. But Lorde herself seemed to understand that this song, despite being a huge hit, wasn't exactly going to carry a career as a pop star. The album itself is actually pretty great, spawning a couple other minor hits with Tennis Court and Team, but nothing that would quite reach the same level as Royals. A whole 5 years later, Lorde finally dropped her sophomore album Melodrama to a hugely positive critical reception, but a rather underwhelming commercial performance. 2017 was the year of Closer, Congratulations, Mask Off, Redbone, Scars to Your Beautiful. Lo-fi pop was absolutely here to stay at this point. But Lorde decided to go a little more sincere than people may have first expected. Melodrama's lead single Greenlight was a huge critical success that failed to really reach an audience initially. It's a breakup song that builds to this awesome crescendo. It's a raw and honest feeling track that also really works as a polished piece of pop music for constant airplay. Sound familiar? The cult following of Lorde's second album has cast a shadow over the music industry for a while now. Honestly, how else can you explain Ariana Grande and Miley Cyrus teaming up with Lana Del Rey of all people? Many more marketable pop stars have tried and failed to do what Lorde did on that second album with varying chart success. The most notable of which probably being Halsey or maybe Selena Gomez, who, in my opinion, are both kinda hit or miss and can come off as kind of inauthentic at points. And that brings us to January 2021 and to Olivia Rodrigo. Driver's License has quite a bit in common with Greenlight. I mean, that bridge in particular could be mistaken for a Lorde song pretty easily.
Red lights, stop signs.
But the biggest comparison is that it's actually really good, you know? Like, it's a really good song. That bridge I just mentioned is stunning. And Rodrigo knows when to belt out the lyrics and when to just let the song be a good song. It feels actually pretty genuine. Really, I think the mainstream just wasn't quite ready for Lorde, but one Billie Eilish later, and we're a little more accepting of this vibe. Now, here's where I could get more cynical and talk about how Disney runs the world and everything, with the artist in question being a cast member on High School Musical, the musical, the show, and that one where the kids want to be Jake Paul. Or I could talk about how this is supposedly about one of her fellow cast members on the High School Musical show, and that he supposedly has a diss track or a response or something to this. Look, I kind of really don't care about this aspect of the conversation. Look, watch Todd in the Shadows video if you really want to know about this part of it. He covers it pretty well. I just do not have the energy to care. But Disney fame and celebrity gossip can only get you so far. A song can only become as big as this one has because people are actually listening to it. There is always going to be space in the pop world for a well-produced breakup song by a young adult for teenagers to make overly sincere covers of, and Driver's License can sit there with the best of them, in my opinion. I think this is nothing but a good sign for the future of pop music. And that's really about all I have to say on that one. See ya. I'm out.